Hey guys, I thought I'd do a quick vid on some of the tires that I've used in the past and a new one that I just got and tried it out over the last couple of weeks. Thought I'd give you my 2 cents on them. And just quickly in this vid, I'm going to go over a Kenda Navigel, and I used that as a front tire, and then the WTB Raptor, and a WTB Bronson 2.1, and then I'm just going to give my 2 cents on a rear tire, the Panaracer XC Fire Pro, and it's a 2.1 in size. So first, I'll go with a weight of this Kenda Navigel, and it's a 26 by 2.35. So now this, again, it's a used one, so I'm just gonna put that out there and just weigh it here. It says 631 or so, 632. So 26 by 2.35 Kenda Navigel. Now, a lot of people will say this is kind of on the heavier side for a tire, and I'll agree, it's a pretty beefy tire. And we have a WTB Raptor. This is a 2.4, but don't let the 2.4 fool you. This is on the narrow side for a 2.4. So this one's going to come in at 639, 640 grams. And I just got a WTB Bronson in a 2.1 race, and I weighed that because I have it on the bike now, which is the front tire here. And that one you can see brand new. Now this one's brand new, not like the old ones. This one came in at 573 grams, brand new, and this is the WTB Bronson 2.1 race. And on the back tire, this is the Panaracer Fire XC Pro 2.1, and this was brand new as well. This one came in at 567 grams, based on my scale, and this is just a $15 gram scale. It's not like a real expensive scale or anything like that, so take it with a grain of salt. Okay, so the Navigel, this is a bit on the heavy side, and then this size is 2.35, and then I looked on their site, and they do have different sizes. If you're an all mountain rider or maybe even a downhill rider, they got a size of a 2.5, and then this one's a 2.35. They got a 2.1 and a 1.95 as well. So if you're more of a cross-country racer, or you're concerned about weight but you still want some pretty good knobs and traction, this is a tire you might want to consider. Now, this as a front tire is pretty nice in my opinion. Again, this is just my riding experience in my opinion. As a back tire, I wouldn't put it on as a back tire, but on a front tire, it hooks up well in most conditions. Fire roads, single track, loamy stuff, because I live in an area where there's a lot of redwoods on some of these trails. A lot of redwood, I wouldn't call them leaves, but the droppings, and it's really cushiony, loamy ride. And then there's other places where I ride where there's a lot of leaves, and this tire does a really good job. The only downside, in my opinion, to the tire, aside from weight, is rolling resistance. This tire is slow. If you had them on the front and the back, you'd slow down pretty quickly on just rolling on a flat or pedaling. You're going to put a lot of energy into pedaling because this is just a slow rolling tire. But I would recommend it as a front tire, maybe in a different size if you're concerned with weight, because this guy really hooks up well. And then for the WTB Raptor, the 2.4, the 2.4, like I said before, it's on the smaller side for a 2.4, so I wouldn't be afraid of, oh, it's a 2.4, it's going to be too big. No, that's not the case. But as an overall tire, for a typical cross-country trail rider, you're not doing anything, crazy, like, you know, all mountain and free riding tire. No, this is a bit small for that. But an overall tire, I like it, and I'd get it again. Um, Great overall tire, hard pack, fire road, single track. The one downside, in my opinion, for this is if you ride in a wet conditions where it's muddy. Uh, once mud gets in here, it doesn't shed mud at all. In my opinion, from my experience, it just packs up, and you'll practically need to get a stick to get all the mud out. It just doesn't shed mud very well. And then we go to the tire I just got on, is the WTB Bronson 2.1, and they have a larger size. I believe it's 2.3 or 2.4. Let's see. Actually, I wrote it down, I think. Yeah, they got a 2.3 race, which on their website says 650 grams. And then they also have a 2.3 all mountain TCS, which is 810 grams. And then, you know, I got the 2.1 race, which is 600. And then over here on the scale it shows 573. And then I'm actually pretty impressed with this Bronson 2.1 from WTB. You know, I tested it out on fire roads, some single track, some double track, some wet conditions. As you can tell, there's a bit of mud on my bike from some of the conditions I just went on. And it sheds the mud better than the Panaracer, in my opinion. And for a 2.1, I mean, it's not big by any means. I mean, as in width, but you know, the side knobs are similar, kind of similar to the Kenda Navigale. I mean, they're pretty aggressive, and it hooks up really well. I was very impressed with the size. The performance is similar to the Kenda Navigale, and this is a 2.35 and this is a 2.1, and it's lighter and it performs almost as well based on the 2.5 weeks that I've had it on my bike. And like I said, I've gone down just about every different type of trail I could find around here, from the fire roads, single track, double track, leaves, wet conditions, loamy conditions. I went down a trail called Rocky Ridge, which you could imagine what that was like, and it did really well. So I'm pretty impressed with this tire so far. Okay, last is the Panaracer XC Fire Pro. Now, I've only used this as a back tire. I haven't used it as a front tire, but I'm kind of an old school kind of guy, and then once I get used to a product, I'm one of those guys that kind of stick with it because I know the characteristics of it. So I think a lot of people have run these tires. It's been around for a long time, and you know, 567 grams. And then I think for most people that ride trail ride and just cross country, not getting too crazy, the characteristics of this tire hooks up well in most conditions: single track, double track, fire roads, leaves. It does really well. I have you know, no complaints on this tire. It does pack up mud a little bit. You know, it doesn't shed it as well. But I'm not the type of rider that goes out on you know, really muddy conditions. I kind of stay away from that. I mean, just the other day I'm running through a few puddles, okay, but really sloppy trails, I just tend to stay away from those in general. Okay, so there's my 2 cents on some of the tires you guys might be considering in the future. So hope you got something from this, and I'll see you guys on the trails.